Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to some more World of Warships, and today we are taking a look at the Tier 5 Japanese aircraft carrier, the Zuiho. And yeah, she's definitely a lot better than the Hoshul, and one of what I've heard, a good seal clubber for Tier 5. So we'll see how this goes. So let's quickly take a look at the stats, and then we'll go from there. Survivability, you start off with 35,500. Once again, your armor is minimal. So, yeah, obviously, aircraft carrier don't always get into fights up close and personal. Squadrons, you have 4 squadrons under control, 4 aircrafts per squadron with a 30 unit capacity. Now, I should point out that this is going to be a little bit different than a stock. My Zuiho is not completely stock. So, what I have compared to, say, what you would normally get, I have the Type 5 Mod 2. There is a major difference. So when you first get her, you have 1 fighter, 1 squadron of torpedo bombers, and 2 squadrons of dive bombers. And I'm not a big fan of the dive bombers. I like the torpedo planes, so that's why I went for that. So when you get the upgrade, it goes from a 112 to a 121, and yeah, I just like having torpedo planes, and they're nice. They're not upgraded, so these are still technically not as good. Like, for example, the torpedo planes are actually a tier 4 torpedo plane, so they're not the upgraded. Now, they're still quick. They're still a lot quicker than the the Bogue. The torpedo planes has a max torpedo damage of 8,567, and you have 4 torpedoes in 1 squadron, so 4 planes, obviously. And the torpedo speed is 38 knots, so a Minakaze can technically outrun these torpedoes. So that is something to keep in mind. Now, my captain isn't actually fully trained up, so I didn't want to use the gold on him because I wasn't in that big of a rush to get through the Zuiho, so I didn't use my gold. You can always retrain your captain with 500 doubloons. But for this instance, I did not. And had I retrained him, my captain has torpedo acceleration. So it increases the torpedo speed by 5 knots, but it reduces the range by 20%. So, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Normally, you want to hit something broadside, so not that big of a deal. Now, your bombers, they will do a max bomb damage of 4,600. And I'm a bit iffy. I'm still learning, so you'll have to forgive me. But I'm still learning how to operate the torpedo bombers. I understand the concept, because normally when you're in a torpedo bomber, well, how about this? I'll explain it in the replay. That would probably be a little bit better. So artillery, yeah, they're all right. You have 4 dual 127 millimeters. I'm gonna guess 2 on each side. Yeah, it looks like that's the case. With a range of 4 kilometers. So yeah, if you have a destroyer, yeah, it's not a good day. So AA, fairly minimal at the stock. Once you get it upgraded, you get more AA. So that is something to keep in mind. So don't always account that you're able to shoot down enemy planes that well. With the stock. Now, you'll get more once you upgrade the hull, but, for example, mine is not. Maneuverability, she is quick, 28 knots. Turning circle radius is 910 meters with a rotor shift time of 13.5, and that will reduce once you get her upgraded all the way. Now, the Bogue is still slow. So, the U.S. Line generally won't really pick up speed, I think, until the Ranger. If memory serves. So the Bogue is 16.5, and the Independence is... Oh, okay, so it is the Independence that is where they actually pick up speed. So these 4 and 5 carriers, they're a lot slower than you are. Something to keep in mind. Concealment, 8.9 kilometers by sea and 8 kilometers by air. And I'm running a camouflage on my ship, so that does reduce it. Now, I haven't quite figured out if I want to go for concealment or if I should go more for air supremacy. I'm thinking about that would be probably be a better case. If you do have a carrier and you are a little bit more experienced than I am, do leave me a comment down below and tell me what you think I should do with the captain skills. Like I said, I'm still fairly new with carriers. It's probably one of my weaker skills as far as World of Warship is concerned, but I don't know. I'll get better. I will get better. So once you get the Zuiho, you have a additional module you can actually get, and it is the Flight Control Modification 1, which reduces the aircraft servicing time by 10%. So kind of helps bring out your planes a lot quicker. So you can see there are actually 2 hull upgrades. Each one will give you additional AA mounts plus health, and the Zuiho Sea Hull, that's kind of weird to say, will actually increase your maneuverability. It will actually increase your rudder shift time. So that's something to keep in mind once you get up to the sea. And these 2 over here will also increase the speed and the hit points, as well as the damage for your fighters and your bombers alike. So always keep that in mind. So anyways, I am actually gonna go ahead and jump into a replay. I will see you guys there. Hello everyone, welcome back to the replay in the Zuiho, and we are currently playing on Solomon Islands, and on our team we have a Zuiho, Hosho, 2 New Yorks, Congo, Wyoming, Kaiser, Königsberg, 2 Danes, Kuma, and a Clemson. On the enemy team, there is a Zuiho, Hosho, New York, 2 Königs, Wyoming, Myogi, Furutaka, Phoenix, Dane, 2 Danes, and a Karlsruhe. So this should be interesting. Fortunately, there's no destroyers on the enemy team, and our team is actually going to start kind of moving out towards A. And we'll see how this turns out. So let's see if I can take control of the camera. There we go. Finally have control of the camera. So the Zuiho is a little bit different compared to the Hosho. Obviously, you have the dive bombers, and your fighters and torpedo planes are a little bit better. So the dive bombers, if we press Alt, let's see if I can quickly. You see there is a little spot when you're doing manual control. Normally you want to line up the dive bombers to the either coming in from the bow or the stern of the ship. That is more likely to actually land hits, and we'll see that quite a few times throughout. So I am currently trying to see if I can spot anything. Both of our fighters, actually the Zuiho and the Hosho's fighters, are actually working together. So we're both working together. There is a fighter group over here, is probably the Zuiho. And I'm currently trying to figure out where to go in. And like I said, I'm not a perfect player. I'm still learning the game. And there I actually tried to strafe the fighter group. I was hoping to at least catch a few. Unfortunately, not really much occurred there. So right now I'm going to go ahead and try to bring in my torpedo planes against the Furutaka. And we'll go ahead, kind of line them up. And I will have to say, I am having a little bit difficult time multitasking, really. Because you'll see here that my dive bomber group is just kind of chilling, honestly. We do land 2 torpedoes on the Furutaka. We don't get a flood, which is really kind of annoying, because the flooding would definitely help. So, fortunately, what is going to happen is that a lot of the fighters on the enemy team is actually... I don't understand what this fighter is doing down here. It's spotting us, yeah, but not anything useful. So this fighter group up here is actually getting taken out by both of our fighter groups combined, even though that they have a Dane and a Phoenix down below. So fortunately, we're able to at least take out a fighter group, and that's always good. That gives us air supremacy over the other CVs and allows us to maintain control. Now that's taken care of, we're going to go ahead and see if we can push towards A. I am actually currently moving slowly. Me and this Hosho are kind of back here, but there's some torpedo planes incoming, and I'm trying to get my fighter group back. I do catch this lone fighter group by itself, so I decide to go ahead and knock it out. Might as well remove any issue from the opponent team. So torpedo planes are incoming. It looks like it's probably the Hosho's torpedoes, and I don't think the Hosho is a really good carrier captain. Maybe it's just me, but the Zuiho, enemy Zuiho carrier captain is pretty good, as you will see. So, torpedo planes are going down. All he has left is one. And here I'm actually manually controlling my ship. I'm actually starting to turn and slow down so I can dodge this torpedo. So it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Now, like I said, I'm very bad at actually micromanaging my planes. I'm actually trying to find currently my... there they are. There's my dive bombers. I did try dive bombing, but like I said, I'm still kind of learning. So... I'll get there eventually. So, our team has captured A and B. We're doing good, right? The enemy team has majority come over to C, and there is a lone Wyoming. And yeah, I'm going in after the lone Wyoming. But at the same time, I'm also bringing my fighters over here to help and assist with the Dane. At least take out some of the enemy torpedo planes. This is the Hoshos. And there are the... I believe that's the Zuiho's fighters. I actually might be wrong. That might be actually the Hoshos as well. So I'm bringing in my torpedo planes, and I misjudged the Wyoming speed, as you will see. I actually am leading him a little bit too much. He's actually going a lot slower than I originally anticipated, but we do land 2 torpedoes on the Wyoming, bring fairly low in health, but once again, we get no flooding damage. And we just lost 2 ships, and it looks like the enemy fighters are actually trying to come after my torpedo planes. We'll see how that goes. So, enemy team has actually pushed all the way into almost into our spawning area, and they are currently going after B. Now, here's going to be an issue right here. So, my fighter planes, had you just noticed that they actually ran out of ammo? I originally was going to, snipe this fighter planes as quick as I can, but they're actually fighting with no ammo. Here, let's actually go look at this dogfight. My fighters are essentially just standing still while the enemy fighter is shooting, but nothing really much is occurring. So after that's actually taken care of, we're going to go and see if we can actually land a dive bomber hit on this Dane. We do actually get a fire. We land 1 hit, so we reset. Good, good, good. I've been probably taking a little bit too much time, but I have been taking time practicing on my aiming, just so I can get a little bit better at dive bombing. And I need to practice on my torpedo drops as well. Like I said, still learning. So my fighter group hasn't actually lost any planes. But at the exact same time, they are just slowly making their way back to the Wyoming. And at this time, I'm actually being spotted by the Dane. And fortunately, he hasn't opened fire. Now, it looks like the CV actually let go of my planes. But he's going to run into the other friendly CV's planes. So that's going to allow the opportunity to resupply my fighters. Now, we do start getting hit at least by the Dane, but it doesn't look like we actually received any damage. Now I'm going after this Phoenix. Let's see if we can knock out this Phoenix real quick. Phoenix doesn't have that much AA. Looks like we can get 3 torpedoes. Very nice. And having go back and micromanage my second group. Let's see if we can take out this Phoenix. Honestly, this was probably a bad call. I should have just let the allies take him out because the friendly Congo does take out the Phoenix. So we don't get a kill, but oh well, not much loss there. I mean, we probably could have had the opportunity to go after any other ships, but yeah, sometimes you just have to learn when to call, when you should let your teammates take the kill. Like I said, still learning. I probably should actually know this by now. Now, the enemy team has both B and C. This is a big, big thing, as you will see. Now, I don't think the Hosho is actually going to be much around very much longer. It looks like he has at least 1 torpedo plane maybe left. That might be his second to last torpedo or planes left. But bring in my fighters. Let's shoot down some planes. Not bad. Not bad at all. And here I'm actually going to start moving north. And this is some issue that I at least kind of have is keeping track of my direction. Because as you'll see, what will happen shortly. Now, I'm bringing my dive bombers in on this Koenig. Let's see if we can actually land a good hit. There we go. Now I'm trying to micromanage. Came in kind of oddly. And we get one bomb hit. Caused a fire, but he probably hasn't been set on fire, so he's probably going to go ahead and take care of that. Now, the friendly New York, unfortunately, is very, very slow, and he's probably not going to be around for much longer. But, I don't know. Right now, it's fairly well even. We've just lost more cruisers to their battleships, so they've lost a battleship and a cruiser. Looks like we are still getting fire damage on the enemy Koenig, which is actually fairly interesting. Don't know why he didn't get rid of that. But here we're actually going to try to take out the enemy fighter planes. Probably a bad position, honestly. As you can see, I'm actually landing or getting multiple plane losses. Here, I just missed a drop, but we did drop the New York. That's kind of what I've heard is the issue is that these lower class battleships are a little bit more nimble. So they're more easy to dodge. And here you can see him actually, like, oh crud, I nearly ran out. And so I came to stop. We'll see how that goes. Now, the New York, I'm trying to bring in my fighter planes to assist this New York, but he's just going to go down to the friendly Koenig. And gonna go after this torpedo planes. Always good idea to reduce the number of planes that they have. But I don't know. I'm still practicing. It's fun. When things go your way. I know that sounds kind of bad, but it's kind of the case. So we're shooting down planes. Went ahead and recalled my fighters because they could be useful over here with our allies trying to protect them from any torpedo planes that might be incoming. Now, here I'm actually starting to turn around, and this is actually going to play a big part because I was like, I don't want to push that far forward because I don't want to get hit by either the Koenig or the Furutaka, which I'm actually going and see if I can hit him. Here, I really try to micromanage that. But RNGesus really said, fuck no, you're not going to get it. So, unfortunately, I didn't get no damage on the Furutaka, the Furry Taco. Now, a Mogi, which has very minimal AA, it looks like he's actually stock whole, is coming in. And I made an error. As you will see, I'm starting to go southeast, and there is a Myogi within 8 kilometers of me. And he does see my torpedo planes, but I'm going to see if I can try to land a good torpedo hit on him. Let's see. Trying to judge. Let's go ahead, actually take a look. And not probably my best drop. Like I said, I'm still learning. But he's actually having to turn away. And he's able to at least dodge a good majority of them. We do get Confederate, so I will take that. But because he had to dodge my torpedoes, he is actually running ground. And I don't think the Myogi captain is very happy with me torpedoing him. Because, well, I'm in sight of him. And I think here it comes. Yep. Oh, starts landing hits on us. Fortunately, I think most of those were not, were mostly over penetration and not any penetration shots. Now this Koenig is going down, which is good. Good. But our friendly Hosho is actually moving very far north, and this is going to be like kind of a big deal. As you will see. I keep hitting what is about to happen. But anyways, I went ahead and I'm going to go try to move north and get out of line of sight on this Myogi. This Myogi is going to go down fairly quickly due to the fact of both the Congo and the New York. And we're going to try to dive bomb him. Let's see if we can get a kill. Here we go. There we go. Actually land two dive bomber hits. And we get our very first kill of the game. We get a Miyogi. So very nice. Very nice. Now the enemy Taka is coming in. And I do have both my torpedo planes set up. And this is something you actually do have to try to keep track of. You don't want this secondary group to actually start dropping torpedoes when you don't need it. So I'm going to actually probably send this guy off somewhere else to possibly land a hit. Probably should have gone after this Konig. This Konig was in a really nasty situation because he's in the narrows, and it's a little bit more difficult for this Konig to dodge, but obviously he dodged the Hosho's planes. And probably if I could go back and redo this, I would probably start moving towards B. It's going to play a crucial role. So there's a Karlsruhe, and you can see this Karlsruhe is actually moving right towards this sunken ship. And I line up my shot, and Karlsruhe's like, oh crap. But guess what? The friendly Congo once again takes out the Karlsruhe. And yeah, that's not particularly good. So the teams are fairly close. Points are decently close. We're only 50 behind. But our friendly CV has actually moved all the way up north. And there is a Konig moving into position. And the Konig probably has eyes on him. And I really wish I had started moving towards B and started just focusing on this Konig. That probably would have been the best idea. Once again, hindsight is 20/20. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring my dive bombers in. Let's see if we can land a hit on this Konig. And probably should have been yelling at the team to go cap, but we'll see. Now I do have my fighter crafts up here. I did spot the Hosho. The Hosho is very low on health, but you can see he has no planes, so he's actually doing nothing, which is a very silly idea, because that does cost you points. Now my dive bombers did not land a hit on the Konig, which is unfortunate. He is low on health. I mean, that's something to take into consideration. But I'm going to actually take out the Hosho, which is a smart idea, semi-smart idea, because if I take out the Hosho, taking out a enemy CV gives us 45 points and they lose 65 points. So this is going to kind of rebalance the points right now. Let's see if we can take out the Hosho. There we go. Should be able to take him out. There we go. Yep, he was AFK. He just probably left because he had no more planes. Now, here's something you do have to keep an eye of. Your planes will fly directly back towards you, and if they go over a ship like the Konig, they're gonna actually get taken out. So I do kind of move them further south, just so I don't lose any of my torpedo planes. Now I'm going to see if I can help take out this Konig, because the Konig is actually focusing on our CV, and what I just gained, we just now lost, and I'm kind of lining up the sight on this Konig. It's at a weird angle, I agree, but he's so low on health. One good torpedo hit will take him out, but two will do just fine. And there we go. We got our 4th kill of the game. So, pretty nice. But here I kind of made a tactical error. I probably should have just had my fighters constantly checking out where the torpedo planes were, because this is going to be possibly a big issue. So I'm going to see if I can take out their torpedo planes as quick as we can, because might as well. I have no fighters I have to deal with. Now at this point of the game, we're losing. We need to cap B. Really need to cap B. The Congo is actually trying to dodge. He's lost a lot of speed, but I don't think we're going to be able to win. Just due to the lack that they held B and C for so long, it's going to pretty much come down to the fact that they've held B and C for so long. But it was still a really good game. Did 94,501 points of damage, 4 kills, Confederate, 15 torpedo hits. Not a bad game. But I'm actually going to have one minor little replay that I just want to show off just because I thought it was hilarious. So I will see you guys in just a sec. Alright everyone, welcome back to a kind of funny moment. Now, I am currently playing on Solomon Island, and this Clemson and this Königsberg are very, very important. Now you can see that I am currently actually sitting on the north hand side, and I am spotted. So I do obviously try to go after this Clemson. Like I said, I think this was actually my second game in the Zuiho, so not the best as far as dive bombing, and yeah, I'm trying my best. We do get a hit, and he's very low on health, 612, and I've been constantly, hey, we need to get him, and there is a Königsberg, who is, let's see, I'd say probably about 6, probably now, yeah, probably around 5 kilometers away from this Clemson. And just watch this Königsberg. He's firing at the enemy team. There are torpedoes spotted. They are spotted. But he's just kind of sat there. Yeah. So Clemson takes out the Königsberg, and the Clemson is on fire. I'm getting hammered away by this Clemson. Because the Königsberg actually just let this Clemson get by. And it looks like the Clemson just went down to the Konig. Oh, why? I was like, what? Are you serious? Like, seriously. This Clemson, who was, 1, very well seen. 2, his torpedoes were seen. And yet this Königsberg completely ignored him to fire at, I believe it was a cruiser or the battleship over here, but completely ignored him, and the Clemson does take out the Königsberg. I'm just like, are you serious? How does this happen? Why does this happen? This is actually going to be it for this replay, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm getting a little bit better, and of course the bow goes after me. Because I have no fighters. Yeah, that leaves me low on health, so thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys did enjoy my look at the Zuiho. Hopefully you'll get better as I get better at playing carriers. So if you like what you saw, hit the like button and give me a subscribe. I really do appreciate it. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zai Jin.